And also, I apologize for my environment is quite noisy. I stopped at somewhere to have this meeting with us. So pardon my environment. I'm very close to the road, and it's a very busy road here. All right. So welcome again. Yeah, this is Edtify. We are more like an online software as a service company. So what we do is we try to automate the not just the education space, but anything that has to do with learning. Okay, so that's what we do as a company. It's a software as a service company because of what we offer. All right, so Edify is trying to bring up a new ways to collaborate with different developers, different set of people, skill sets in order for us to make sure we project a very stand a very standing ecosystem, a very standing businesses while we run our operation. All right. So the reason we had to call for these collaboration is because of the nature and then where we are projecting our business to get to, the company to get to. So before the inception of Edify, just like the name Edify, meaning that we're trying to the creation of education technology business, right? So more like someone can just come to Edify or come to Edify to set up their own edtech business. That's the whole concept of Edify. So the making or the creating of an edtech business, that's the whole essence of the name Edify. So what we're looking at for is that we're trying to make our business or we're trying to make our platform to be that number one platform. Let me not call it number one, that single platform where you go to get your business set up. As long as it has to do with education technology, you get your business set up without even knowing how to code. That's the concept we are selling. All right. So we understand the market and we know how the market has been. And we believe that lots of creators, lots of educators, lecturers, schools, businesses like that are actually finding it difficult to want to manage a complete edtech solution. They don't also have the right skill sets to do all of that. They also have when it comes to the finance aspect of it too, very expensive to maintain for server, for the bandwidth, for the disk space, and every of that. So most times, some of them just go down to the minimum that they could get. But what we're looking at for is that we know exactly what these guys are actually looking at for. When I mean these guys, I'm talking about the creators, people that are more like our clients. All right, we're trying to make sure that anybody that think about creating a business that has to do with courses, that has to do with knowledge, they should be thinking about coming to Edify. So that's the whole concept. So we have been into this particular market for quite some time now, not actually very old, but at least we've been in the edtech space for over 8 years. Before we became Edify, we started as an exam engine. All right. So when we started as an exam engine, we were able to service the exam system. So we have the proctored exam. People can do remote exams seamlessly. It was through that we got the recommendation for us to even go as far as doing a complete education solution for our clients because they requested that. While we did that, we were able to get lots of feedback from them, especially when they know that the system is very seamless and simple to manage. All right, so that helped us to think about the future of Edify. So thinking about the future of Edify, we decided to create something that has to do with a open space where we can have different collaborators. We are servicing a a very big market. When I mean a very big market, the education technology space is quite growing very large when it comes to the edtech space in Africa. If I'm going to talk about the world, it is high, it is very massive. It has to do with learning online and all of that. Because of the pandemic, COVID-19, it has actually made this particular tech space to be very sought after. Everybody's trying to see how they can take their physical location to an online system, but then they don't have the skill set, right? So we thought about it and we decided to, while waiting for our own in-house developers to create lots of amazing platforms for people to come in. We want to see how to leverage independent creator front-end developers, people that can do amazing things. We have our backend and we have other backend developers that will also partner with us to create amazing plugins, APIs that would support or that would make that creators would use in order for them to do whatever they want to do seamlessly. All right, so that was just the major concept we thought about, and we felt that okay, our own in-house developer may not be able to do every of this thing on time. Not that they can't do it, but on time. And then the what we are projecting is that we want to make sure we still have a way of making people make money, lots of money from Edtify. So I'm going to give us a little concept what we thought about example like the Shopify, right? Most of you know of Shopify. Now, when Shopify came out, the same concept they thought about was to create an ecosystem to allow developers to come in to create themes, to create APIs, to create apps and all of that, so that it would service their own audience, their own client. People come to Shopify to create their own online store, to sell their items and all of that. So while they started, it wasn't as big as when they started, but when they opened the flow for others to join in, where Shopify in-house team is just about 100 plus, right? But when they opened that the space for developers to come in, it was massive, right? It was massive, and currently they have over 7,000 teams on the Shopify team store. So lots of different people all over the world are coming to Shopify to just set up their online store without code, without no issue, and they're able to plug in different applications, different themes, different plugins that would support what they do. All right. So now, similarly, that's what we're looking at for Shopify is only taking care of people that wants to sell, probably like their e-commerce and all of that, right? But what Edtify, where Edtify is going, is to know the kind of people we want to service or the kind of people we are looking at bringing into the system. Now we have the lecturers that want to have their portfolio online. Just imagine the thousands of lecturers we have in Nigeria. None of them have a very good online presence, right? Apart from LinkedIn or SearchGate and some of that, right? They don't really have a lot of online system that they can use. We've actually tested this, and we have few lecturers in some schools that are currently using the system for their portfolio website, and it has actually been a very similar. So now we're looking at making it to be dynamic. So we could have lecturers website or team. Let me use that one. We would have lecturers teams. Now a lecturer would come in, they want to set up their portfolio website to put up their books, their publications, probably their courses and all of that. And they also want to share their achievements. Those are the things that are actually making lecturers that's global. They want to have that online presence and share, tell people what they have achieved. Now, this space has lots of people. Look at the lecturers in a particular university. We have lecturers in a particular polytechnic colleges. Look at the number of lecturers we have just within Nigeria alone. You know that the market is large. And when they have this idea that the concept that they are going to be able to create their portfolio website in minutes and without having any issue in terms of managing of their website and all of that, it's something that they are craving after for. So that is why the concept that we're bringing in is that yourself as a developer, you look at some of these niches that we have and say, okay, I want to focus on this. I want to do designs, a front-end design for this. We already have a complete back end. Now that back end helps to support all of these independent creators or all these independent clients, right? So what you're only coming in to do is to consume what we have created in our API, consume those APIs, and create amazing website interface websites for these guys while they are using the teams. It's looking different, even if it's coming from the same backend, right? But it's giving them that different face. So we have that for the portfolio. We also have that for the clergies, pastors. They want to sell their books, they want to sell their messages, they want to sell their videos to their church members. Look at the number of churches we have in Nigeria right now. Look at the number of clergies we have in Nigeria, people that write motivational books, authors, and all of that. They are massively looking out for systems that can be personalized to them. Right? Other platforms are there, good, but some of those platforms don't give them that complete ownership. Sometimes you go to some platform, you want to sell your books, you will see the main platform that they are selling or the main brand taking them out of it. So most people are looking at ways of making their website or whatever they are selling to be personalized to them. So that is why you guys coming in is something that is going to be a very massive thing for both for us and for yourself, because we're going to be servicing a very large market. So that one is there. We also have creators, independent creators, people that have courses that want to sell their courses and all of that, right? The system is something that they can also make use of. So you guys as developers come in, build teams that will be servicing a particular niche. So you were not limited to service just one particular niche. You could actually think of what would work best for you. You could ask for advice, you could make some research and see what would work best for you. And then you carve out niche. You have access to our Postman, you have access to everything that you need to know concerning how to create amazing website through API. You know how to you get all of this documentation. So seeing all of those things, you start thinking of who do you want to service? Who are the people you want to service? We have the schools, the secondary schools, we have the universities, we have the examiners, the HR firms. They want to sell. They want to conduct exams, remote exams for job and all of that. So we are actually creating different plugins, different APIs, different apps that would support these different market segments. So our own company is not just limited to just online course, exams, and all of that. No, we are going to be creating more applications, more plugins that would support most of these clients. So while we are trying to support most of these clients, yourself or as developers will be creating amazing things that would support those plugins, so that when somebody is trying to plug it in, they can actually get it, and then of course pay you for them to even install some of those things, right? So we have all of this, and we feel, and it's something that is going to be massive for you guys. All right, then sometimes you might be thinking, okay, how do we sell these teams? When we create our design to create our teams, are we going to market ourselves? Are we going to do this? Are we going to how do we make the money? How do people get to see our team? All right, now we are looking at not like we're looking, we've actually thought about the affiliate marketing scheme, where affiliate will help you sell your team to that particular audience. All right, so you create your team, you put it up in the team store, the affiliate marketer takes it up from there and start projecting what you have, what you've designed to people that needs that solution. So people that want to create have that particular kind of website, because actually it's a website you're giving to them. All right. So this is what people are looking at for. The affiliate marketer goes there, gets this particular team that you've built, and start selling and start moving at, just like as you can understand, we have on WordPress we have the likes of Elementor, we have some of those. That was how they actually started, right? They saw WordPress and it's okay. They want to build up something from there, and then they started doing their designs, they started selling it independently, and before you know it, this is where they are today. All right, so that's something that we're looking at for you as a developer. You build this your the front end, and then the affiliate marketers take it up from there, and they sell this to the direct audience that you have built that website for. All right, so it's amazing that this could also make bring some startups for some of you. All right, so looking at Mailchimp, for example, when Shopify started, when Mailchimp was in existence, Mailchimp don't have what they have now. Like they were not as big as what they were until they had to create their niche in Shopify. All right. So the whole concept was that they started understanding that they need to create some good things for the audience in Edtify, the client, people that are using their team in Edtify. They want to see how to send mails to their users, how to get mails, and all of that. And today, you can understand how Mailchimp is right now, how large Mailchimp is right now. So some of you doing this design, we are going to be linking you guys to developers. For back end, we're going to be linking you guys to product designers. For UI UX, we're also going to be linking you guys to the affiliate marketers to sell what you're doing. So we're trying to create a business for some of you. So it depends on your communication with yourselves, right? Collaboration. While you're doing this, some persons would feel like, okay, let's just start up something from there and maybe carve out a startup for ourselves for us to build amazing teams and like this. And then before you know it, it becomes massive as, of course, as the way as it's going. All right, so we are going to be giving you guys that collaboration, just the same way we are having this relationship with you, this collaboration with you. We are also having this same collaboration with backend developers. So backend will also have access to our structure, and they will also be building amazing different kinds of applications. So right now, some persons are doing they are using the course module, they are using the course feature, right? So some person might want to think of something new to do in the course. Some of the developers, backend developers may think of something new they want to add up to the team that they are currently using. So all of this is going to make the flow between the developer, both the back end, the front end, and then the product UI UX designer, right? Every one of them come together to form that bond. So we're going to be looking at the plugin and every of that. So this is something that we feel is going to be highly beneficial to you, or it's going to be highly beneficial to you in the sense that while you create your teams, you may not create all the team, you may just do one or two, and that's it. Keep that on the team store and see how it goes from there. All right. So you're not doing the marketing. That is where the affiliate marketing comes in. So when the affiliate marketer comes in, then of course that's your choice though. That's a choice open for you as a developer for you to make your team to sell more. People need to sell it for you if you can't do it yourself. If probably they want to sell for you, they have a conversation with you and say, okay, let's see how we are going to maybe share the cost of the team when somebody pays for it. So all of these are things that you discuss with the affiliate marketers. All right. So we will put it in our team store. We will market the team store generally. We may not market our independent teams. That's where the affiliate marketers come in. All right. So based on multipliers effects, you may get a little from the sales of your team, but of course, look at the number of persons that actually pays for that team. Instead of it just being there on the team store, you get 100%. You could share profit with some other few persons to make sure that you get more people signing up to install your team. So all of that are things that we are looking at making sure that it works for you guys. Then um, we would also have we're also going to send you guys an MOU. Those of you that are really interested in doing this, we're going to send you guys an MOU. The MOU talks about how for you to get or it binds you or it secures you for you to get your 100% for 1 year whenever you sell somebody buys your team. But as long as you put it up in the team store, when somebody buys your team, you're getting 100% of it for 1 full year, and after that you start getting 80% of it. All right, so that's the deal we are working with you guys. So that MOU we're going to sign with you is something that is going to keep you, and then of course going to hold us in case we default our memorandum of understanding. Then of course you guys are going to sign all of that. We're going to sign all of that so that it's a binding document and it secures you. Okay, and then while you are in this particular you are working with us in this collaboration, while you're doing your design, all right, or while you're doing your building your website, we would also be sending you some follow-up survey weekly to know how far you're going. Now this survey is going to give us as a feedback of you how far you've gone. If you need assistance from us, if you need anything from us, at least we should be able to know how in terms of the product management and all of that, to see how you're moving from one phase to the next phase. And of course, if there's anything that is blocking you, if there's anything that is holding you back for you to dish out what you're working on time. So this weekly survey, will be something to help us have that conversation, help us have that one-on-one conversation with you to know how far you've got in order for us to come in the best way that we can. So we would also be leveraging some of you may not be probably exceptional front-end developers, right? So it's going to be this is going to create a room for you guys to also learn. All right, so some of you may be new to some of the technologies that we are using or that we will be sharing with you guys. Some of you may be new to them, or some of you may not be too too good with it, or will not be very good with it. But then this is a learning curve for some of us. While you're building your products, you will still be learning. So those surveys would also help us to know, okay, those of us that actually need help in terms of understanding some of these technologies, some of these codes and everything. So while you are learning, we can still be sharing some nice resources, some lectures, some videos, and if possible, we could also have some master classes, so maybe weekly, 1 hour, so that you just understand how to go about some of the thing you're working on as a front end, and of course, new technology that's you need to even know to make you to be standing, or for you to be sorry, for you to be working within current trend, right? So these are some of the things that we would also be dishing out for you guys probably on a weekly basis based on what we feel and how we can come in. All right, then before the year runs out, we're going to be having a physical meetup. All right, so all the developers will be coming together, have a physical meetup. So we'll plan that and make sure that we achieve that within the year. So we have a meetup, we discuss, see all the challenges, and then we have that that bond that we need amongst ourselves. So because right now, for me, we are all family. We are trying to create something to service the education space, and that particular space is massive. And I feel every one of us here would have one thing or two to contribute to that particular space. Now, I've discussed some things with us, right, in terms of the market and what we envision. We feel with you guys, we should be able to have over 1 million creators on our platform in the coming years, right? We envision that to have lots of creators, but we know that it is possible based on the different market segments that we have actually coined our niche or our clients to be. So we've been able to define our audience, and we know what they need, and we know what is enticing for them. So we believe that is achievable and that's doable. So we're going to be working on that. So in the mail or in my conversation with you, I told us I was going to take us through the Edtify, not the whole of Edtify, but at least a few of it for you to understand, probably see what we're looking at. I don't know if some of you have actually gone through the system to maybe create content or to do anything on the platform. If you haven't, it's okay. But what I want you guys to know is to understand the concepts of what Edify is doing and how it works. All right, so I will share my screen for 10 minutes. And in that in my 10 minutes, I will just show you some few test cases that are currently using the system so that you would understand the kind of audience we are trying to serve. All right, so you know the number of people that we are bringing in or that are looking at using this particular system. All right, so I want to share my screen now, and I hope you can see my screen. Please let me know where you can see my screen, please. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fine. All right, so this is just our platform, Edify. So you can see what we're looking at for is to unlock the world of online education, right? So people come to the platform, create their teams. So they come to the team store. We have a team store where they come see the different kind of teams for people to they can install, right? So they can select any of the teams and then they can just install and it becomes theirs. So most of the people that are currently using the system right now works with this particular team you're seeing here, right? So they come down, proceed, install these teams. While they are installing the team, they are setting up their online academy. While they are setting up their online academy, let me just move up so you would see that. Okay, so this is just a very simple model. So once they select the team, they can put their business name, a summary of what they want, and the description. Then they select what they want. So the system allows the user or the clients to do whatever they want to do. If they want to this exam, it's fine. If they want to create uses for publication for their ebooks, they select whichever one they want to use. So these are actually standalone plugins or features that they can actually use on their website. So when they are done, they can now select a particular domain. They want a custom domain, the one that houses their own domain name. They can do that. If they want to use a subdomain like a .edify.com domain, they can do all of that. And once they set it up, automatically they get their domain, they get their website immediately. So it's that seamless and simple. So in the space of 1 minute, someone is able to create up to set up their website. And once they do that, automatically they have a website. So it's that simple. So that's the flexibility and simplicity we are trying to sell for people to come in to start creating up whatever they want to do. So these are some of the use cases we are looking out for. So this is the platform. I'm sure most of you know the Learn Africa books, the Longman format. They call them Longman PLC format. They usually do the dictionary. So this is what they use. They use our system for their e-library. When I mean their e-library, more like the people come down to their website to download, not just download, to read their books. So they subscribe to access all of their books, just the way Amazon Books is, right? You can just go subscribe and start reading the book. So the same thing that they're actually doing. Currently, they have lots of books there. So based on the primary and secondary school category, so that's something that they are currently using now for this. This particular feature that this particular Learn Africa PLC is using, we call it, it's more like a subscription-based model. Lots of people that are looking at that particular kind of market. So the system supports.
David, we lost you for a few seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know where you guys lost me. Can you just please take me back where you guys lost me?
Yeah. The Learn Africa model, what they do with the theme they have.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So what Learn Africa does with their team is they currently created this with Edtify, but then it's not like people are coming to buy a particular content or a particular book. So what they do here is you come down, you pay this amount of money. Once you pay this amount of money, you're going to access all their books. So we call that the subscription-based model. So a client or a user can set up their online academy and also make it a subscription-based website where people come in and create their own, let me call it their own Amazon books. So they have lots of books and people can come subscribe for those books. It could be a course, it could be anything for the client, depending on what they want to do. So all of these are things that one of the models that we have actually made it open for them. Then why some others have the one of you have to pay for a particular course. Now this one now is for the National Pro University of Nigeria, currently using this. All right, so they use this one for their short courses. So you can see that they have their short courses in here. So this particular one, you can see that their prices for the content independently. So this is what we call the pay-per content model. So with this, somebody comes set up their own academy to sell their books, just the way you have the Udemy. You come to Udemy, subscribe and pay for a particular book and access that book. So that's another model that somebody can set up their online academy or their website to have. So what I'm saying, this particular thing, it doesn't mean that this subscription-based model is only for books, right? Or the paper content is only for books. No, you create your academy or your website. Now that website is like a center, it's like an online school. That school can have the ability to make somebody to pay to access all the contents, or can make somebody to just pay for independent content. So that is doable on the system. So you should be looking at what you can carve out when you're doing your design for those who want to make their own system to be subscription based like this, or for it to be pay per content like this. So this particular the Estel, which is the National Open University, currently uses theirs as a private um, online academy. So only their students have access to this. Only their students have access to this. Unlike the Learn Africa PLC, let's open one of the books. So I'm not actually logged in, right? But at least I can move from one phase to the other, and then I can see the items there to subscribe to access. But for the National Open University, which is for private entities like universities, you should know that you can't even go through this particular phase because you have to be logged in, and they need to know if you are actually their students before you will be able to access that. So these are some of the things that we are looking out for the kind of people. So when you're thinking of doing your design, have the picture of a university using this particular system for their courses, for their e-course and all of that. Look at the big brands like Learn Africa for their bookstore or any top company like that. We also have another use case of the Indorama Element Chemical. So this is the platform that they use for just majorly their exams, right? So they use this for their recruitment exam, the Indorama Element Chemicals. So they have different exams that they use for their recruitment, and it has been going amazing. This is also private, right? So I may not be able to have access to the exam when I click on that. So the system gives them that complete ownership. As you can see, they don't see Edtify anywhere. So that's what we are trying to promote, making sure that they don't get to even see Edify anywhere, give them that perfect ownership. So the only time people get to even see Edify is when they come down to the footer and then they see that this was built with Edify. All right. So we are trying to hide ourselves, but we are trying to make sure people are able to set up this kind of online academy in minutes as fast as they can. But we don't want them to be limited to just this particular interface. We want them to have different feeling, different kind of website look, different kind of outlook. That's what we want them to achieve. So that is where you guys are coming in. All the APIs to create exams, to create everything are all there. So what you guys are coming in to do is to make sure that people get to see this particular kind of interface when they choose your team. When they choose your team. So that's the major thing you guys are coming in. Give somebody using the same kind of academy or this kind of website, but a different outlook. So that's what we want you guys to be able to do for us. And of course, at the end, whatever you're selling or whenever you're selling to the system, whenever somebody's installing these things, you will get to see the number of installation. All right. You also know the number of persons that have installed your team and all of that, right? And once it's out, people can go preview your team to see what you've done, and they say, okay, this is cool, they can work with this, they install immediately. And once they do that, and it's seamless without no hiccup. So that's what we're looking at for. Then some of you may be looking at for designers to do this, right? Some of you may be designer yourself before you even enter the front end development, right? You may want to do something cool for yourself, or some of you may say, okay, I want designer to design this for me. So all of this, I think that can still work. So if you feel you want a designer, you can also reach out. I need a designer to do designs for me to do my work, right? If all of that is that we will make provision for you guys to have designer. The same way we have this conversation with you, we also have that same conversation with some of these independent guys, the independent skill sets to make sure that you as a front-end developer, your work is easy for you. So the same thing we are doing across both for the backend, both for the designer. That was why we even thought about bringing in the affiliate marketers to also sell what you have built, So we will also be selling all of that. So basically, this is what we're looking out for, and this is where we want you guys to come in, set up and create these academies, these designs, this front end outlook, do these tips, make it of course you have the best way to go around it, but you know what are the things that we actually want to put out there, right? You can just help us, you can just do all of that, and then we get these things out immediately. So that's what we have here. So I think right now I would take some questions if we have those questions, right? Okay, guys, so I think I'm done. All right. Dwari has please you can go ahead.
Yeah, look, good day. Okay, so
Yeah,
I
good
have
evening.
two questions. Um,
Okay.
so the first is those things you said. Okay, like for example, now, okay, you already answered one of them actually, because I was going to ask how, because as a front end developer, we don't normally do designs. We just maybe copy and code it. So I was going to ask that, but you said we can actually collaborate with them to work. And then my second question is this. Um, I, you got me confused on those themes you said on that is on the site already. When you said we would just install them, like the users or the buyers will install them. So here's why I got confused. Okay, so is it that we already have those clients that will be making those themes for, that okay, it's already specific that we know that this is the exact thing we are doing? And if not, is it that okay, we are just creating a dummy team, so when the client like sees the team and is like, okay, I want something like this, is it that we will now have to start coding it? Or I don't get when you said the user will just download the theme and automatically it's his. If it's a dummy team, the team will not have the user's content. So that's why I got a little bit confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a dummy team. All right. What you're doing, whatever team you're working with or you're working on, it's you are consuming the API. All right. So when you're consuming that API, everything that is coming from the API will be visible in that particular team. All right. So I think one of somebody wants. I have Deborah that wants to say something. David, can you please go ahead?
Good evening, everyone. So, actually, just want to answer your question.
Okay,
And
Deborah, before you answer, so Deborah is actually our front end director, so she's here with us too. So she's the one in charge of our front end. So that's why I actually want her to respond to that question. Okay, so Debbie, you
Oh,
can go ahead, please.
okay, thank you. So, you're here to create team for users. Like he has mentioned before, you have something like Shopify, where you have your own store. So what we are doing is personalizing it, making you feel like you own it. Not like you see your design and then you feel like, oh, everybody, thousands of people that are using Edtify using the same design. So you have your own feel. Your people are using it differently. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's you, but actually users that are using Edtify. You asked, how do you get people to use your team? He has mentioned that we have schools that are using Rectify. We have lecturers, students, universities. We have pastors and all that. He mentioned people that we are even still looking forward to use Rectify. So those are the people that are going to use your theme. So if you create your team, they come because before you actually, I think he took us through users creating their own business on Xify. So when you get there, you will see teams. So if you create your own team, your team too will be there. It will be listed there. So user sees it and feel like, oh, I love this team. This is what I want my users to see when they come to my site. So they hit on that your own team to subscribe to it. So subscribing to using that your own team makes like, okay, the first person use your team, that's number one. You have one user. Another, and that's already you mentioned, you can see the count. So that's how users get to use your team. It's not like they're downloading it. It's not like they're not downloading it. So once they give us once they click that they want to use your team, we from the back end, we send the message to the back end, of course, that okay, this person wants to install this theme, and then it's installed to them. Then he likewise showed you the page where you see they Learn Africa and then the now and all that. So that landing page is actually your theme. That's what you're designing. That's what we're expecting from you to design, to implement for users to use. So every other page remains the same, but just that landing page is what you'll be working on, making it, making sure that your work is unique and you can actually design more than one team and all that. So you are not, what you will be doing there is just consuming the API, like he has also mentioned. So we'll give you the APIs that you will need. We are also going to put you through on the project structure that you'll be working on consuming the API that you will need. You won't be needing much of an API, but everything you'll be needing would also put you through to it. And we also have, like I earlier mentioned, we have a code structured that you would work with. So I don't know if all I've said answers your question.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So, what I was actually asking was like, let's say, okay, there's Amazon site. Okay, let's say now I have a business and maybe I want to name it my site, and the theme I've posted on your site now is Amazon site, but the content on that theme is not my content. That's what I was actually asking, that okay, if someone sees the theme on your site now and he wants to like buy the theme or upload it like you said, is it that the software developer will have to come in again to include his own content on that theme? Or that's where I was, I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Okay, I think I get what you're
I
saying.
think
All right. So the system have an admin portal. All right. So that admin portal is where they manage everything they see on that website. So on the place where you see the courses, it was created by the clients, not the system. It's not a dummy content, right? The owner of that website goes to their admin portal to create and manage everything that they see on that website. I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get something like WordPress or something.
Yeah,
That's,
something like that.
yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you. Sorry. So Tari Bihazi, you have something? You can ask your question.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Wellness. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Please go ahead.
I have a couple of questions. You can answer the ones that have been more important. First of all, my question is, do you serve only Africa? That means it's only the market base, is it only Africa or the entire world? Then two, with
Sorry, I
the
didn't get.
client,
Sorry, please. I'm taking the notes, but I didn't get what you said. I didn't get that particular question.
first question, the market base, is it only Nigeria, Africa, or we are looking at the whole globe? That is one. Then two, will the client be able to, will the client have their own backend where they can either customize theme colors, typography, and the rest? Then lastly, in collaboration with design, does it come with a cost from our end or it doesn't? Thank you very much.
Please, can you
I
take the
hope
last? Can you take the last one for me, please?
the last question, collaborating with designers, does it come with a cost in our end or it won't?
Okay. So first of all, our system is not built for a particular location or a particular country or geographical area. So the system is built for the globe. So we also will have different currencies that someone even in the US can make use of the system, and it will be personalized to them. And whenever somebody wants to buy their content, it will be in dollars. Likewise for Ghana, it will be in cedis, or for Kenya, it will be in Kenya shilling. So the system allows different currencies on the platform. All right, not all the countries, right? But the few that we know that yes, it can be indigenous for them. But for those that don't have that's indigenous, or maybe the currency can actually work with the standard US dollars and all of that, right? So that's one. So the second one is the customization. Yes, the 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 user or the owner of the website has the ability to customize their colors, to change their colors and all of that from the back end. So in that admin portal, I give them that flexibility to do all of that. That's the second. Then the third one, collaborating with other maybe other guys. Yeah, so of course, what we're looking at for is that we want to make it easy for everybody, but it's going to be coming at a cost. All right, in as much as you guys are the ones to determine, I forgot to add that you are the ones to determine the cost of your team. All right, you as the front end, you are the one to determine the cost of your team. So if you determine, although we have a cap, right? Maybe not maximum, no more than $20, right? So you can put your team for any amount, and when you put that in for that amount, you are supposed to get 100% of it, and that's what the client is paying the system, and you get 100% of it. All right. Now, if you are working with other people coming in to make sure you have your team out there, you can have a communication conversation with these guys. Okay, let's have a way of let's share what comes in. All right, our company will not be responsible for paying for paying those for developers or the designers, right? It's something that we will tell you, okay, if you want it, it's fine. If you can do your own design, you keep your 100%. But if you feel you want somebody to also assist you, of course, you can put all of that into your contribution where you're putting the price in. All right, and then you know that okay, once you guys start selling, you want something very good, and of course, designers will give you something very good, and clients are looking at things that are very good, very pleasing to the eyes. So this collaboration is going to be beneficial to you as the front end because you'll be dishing out something super cool. All right, and people will be looking at downloading what you've actually dropped for them to see. So once it's present to them, they install it and then they start using it and then they pay you. So it's not about from of course the money is important, but we look at the multipliers effect, number of people that would download your team because it's fine. So that's where the collaboration comes in. So the collaboration that comes in would yourself and the other person that will be coming in, we discuss on how you guys would share the money. All right. I don't know if that answers the question,
All right.
Isaac.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Musa Ahmed, you have a question. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Velvet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Hello, can anyone hear me? Hello, can anyone
Yes, we
hear
Yes,
can
me?
hear you.
Okay. So what I wanted to ask was, um, on our own hand, will there be technical guidelines that we're expected to follow, as in technical guidelines from Edify that to we the front end developers that we expect apart from just the site being written in Next.js. And then that's one. Then the second question is this: um, would that say the end users to be able to contact the team makers, saying they want a specific, okay, they like this team, but there's this specific feature, or there's this specific customization they want done. You understand that to be done by the team developers? Would there be provision for that kind of arrangement?
Okay. So
That's all.
all right. So I think I
Mm.
will ask Deborah to answer the first one. Then I think I'll answer the second. So David, can you please go ahead?
Okay, I was actually going to say message should answer it though. So um the point is we have guidelines like the framework you use, and we have the code structure. We have um components written down that you should make use of. Except you're doing anything that we don't have the components available, that's when you are allowed to do justice to it. So we have a whole lot of components written down, like say you want to use table, you want to use table, you want to use a pop-up, you want to use a model and all that. So button and all that, we already have components written down. So all you need to do is just import the component and make use of them. So I don't know if that answered the question.
Okay, to add up to that, to Jerry, they can also, you guys can also create your own components. All right. So if you feel the one that Edtify is given to you is not in the right order, maybe you want something new or something different from that. Okay. You can make use of your own components, create your own components, right? I think that works. Message, am I on point?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So from what we are driving at, we are streamlining the system in such a way that your templates can be designed with any framework, but there are requirements. The basic requirements, if it's a JavaScript framework, you must use a server-side rendered. Any framework at all, it must be a server-side rendered framework. And also TypeScript is required as well if you're using JavaScript, and so it must be properly typed as well. And there are type definition for the templates that we are going to share to you guys as well. So you have to have basic knowledge of some of these skill sets to be able to design templates that will be used on the platform. And we are also making it in such a way that you can easily use whatever component or design yours from scratch without worrying about what is already existing. The only constraint is the endpoint which you are going to be consuming from what we have implemented.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you very much.
thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry, my concern would be that if you already have components built, more like you already have a design system implemented, like that of Bootstrap, where um all of the products that are built look alike, that are built using the component library look alike. And then secondly,
Exactly.
you said
So
if we're building, sorry, you said if we're building using specifically using Java, you said we specifically have to use Next.js to build, and then we have to use server-side rendering. But for example, now in Next.js 13, which we have some massive updates, there are sometimes some use cases whereby a component cannot be server-side rendered that on the client. For example, if you want to access say some browser APIs which are not available on the Node.js runtime, they are on the browser runtime. How do you how do we go about that?
okay, so when the server side rendered pages, we that your requests, especially API requests for most of the pages you're going to be consumed, are going to be server side requests, not client side. So your DOM manipulation operations are definitely still going to be client side. Next.js 13 does not restrict you from having your use client uh, uh, manipulations on the DOM whenever you are rendering a server side editing. So the server side rendering is just your initial requests or subsequent requests using server actions or the rest whenever you are doing that. So it doesn't stop you from still making server side. We are making this putting this constraint specifically for SEO reasons. So you except you want to serve your your clients' sites that are not SEO compliant, or you want to use a third-party libraries for that, which can just add unnecessary overhead or constraint to that. So the requirements for that is not going to affect your DOM manipulations actions at all. So the requirement is specifically for this thing. So, but don't worry about that. If you are here, you definitely have knowledge about JavaScript and this thing. So it will be quite easy for you to use the current system as it is. So in terms of components based, our existing components, that's what I said earlier. We are not constraining you to our components. You cannot use our components and then create dynamic designs. They will just all look exactly the same. Like the problem with Bootstrap, even Bootstrap do allow for flexibility if you know how to use Bootstrap well. So you can easily create any of your components, and you don't have to worry about being constrained to use specifically our components as well. So I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you. You have answered my question. So
Okay, so for the second question you asked concerning provision for you to for clients to request something new, a kind of a new added feature that is not there on our system or something like that. Um, First of all, if they ask you to do something new, all right, it's possible, but it must fall under except it's not a feature that is that requires the back end. If it's a feature that doesn't require the back end, yes, we are actually making that provision for even as a developer. You look at some things, some pain points that is not in our system that can be developed by you. If a client is actually using your own team and they need something new, you can specifically for that particular client. But the only thing is that whatever thing you're doing, as long as it has to do with that team, is going to be an update to the team. So if you add, let's say for example, the you have it, you want to do a drop down. Let's say instead of having the nav links at the header, you want to do some drop down that will have different kind of maybe a new kind of a drop down. Now you want to update that for a particular client. Immediately you do that, it has to go through to the other persons using that your same team. So it will be as long as it's an updated system, it will span across everybody using that your team. Okay, so that's it. But you can there's a provision for you to create something distinct for your clients. I hope that answers your question, Musa.
yes, it did. But I still have concerns. So it means that customers cannot necessarily get their own personalized customizations done, except it applies to the every other person using the theme. Won't that be
Okay,
restricted?
sorry, let me just if for example a particular customer have a design, let me use that word, have a UI design for something that they want just for themselves, right? That should not be maybe anywhere on the team store. You can do that. And it will be personalized to that client. You are going to tell the client what you would. It's your money, right? It's yours. You're going to tell the customer what he would pay you for you to do that. I don't know if that answers that
All
question
right, thank
you
you
were
very
asking.
much. Yes, it
Okay,
did.
you're
Yes, it
welcome.
did. Thank you very much. Hmm.
All right. Okay, so Ruben Mensah, I think you can go ahead.
Okay, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I have a simple question. How many times can a team be installed? Um, can two different users install the same team, or is it one user to one system? One user, one team system? Don't know if you understand my question.
Okay, I think I do understand your question. So the team, just the way WordPress works, All right, I can have my own academy and I can install as many things that I want, and I want to be changing my teams. So they can install more than 4 teams. Doesn't mean that will be applicable to what people get to see. So once they install a particular team, they can make it active in their team, because they will all have their team store. They are in their own page or their own admin portal. Okay, they'll have their team store. And once they install anything there, it will affect. They can still go down to the team store and make changes, but they are buying it. So once they buy it, it's a yearly license, right? So they buy it for 1 year. So after that one, they have to renew it. So if somebody wants to buy 4 or 5 teams, he or she can do that. Okay, and then your team is not restricted to just one person, anybody, and you don't have any restriction. You can have 1 million installation. That's good for you. Okay, I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, thanks. I understand. Thanks.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, Omolola Aishat, can you please go ahead?
Okay, thank you very much. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, very well. Go ahead.
Okay, so actually I joined late, but the few things I heard when I joined, I heard you saying the websites will be built using Next.js, and I heard Bootstrap. Please, some of us, no, don't let me speak for everyone. Me personally, I don't really know how to use Bootstrap. The main thing I use is Tailwind and probably native CSS. So I want to ask if we can be allowed to use um, other CSS libraries other than Bootstrap. And there's another thing I want to ask. Is it everyone on the group, everyone on the Slack channel that is automatically employed? What? Those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay, so I will allow either Message or David to answer the first question, then I'll answer the second one.
Okay, with respect to your question about using Bootstrap, or so the point is the point is you are allowed to use whatever framework you want to use, React wise, Next.js, but with Next.js for now. As time goes on, we'll find we are still making sure we have a way to allow for other ecosystem. But with Next.js, you can make use of vanilla CSS, just pure CSS, JavaScript. Sorry, pure CSS or Tailwind CSS, whatever installations you can go ahead with. I think you can do that for now. So you don't have to worry. As long as your design are well typed and the rest, you are good to go. And I think that's Mr. Velvet. You can.
Okay, so Aishat, for the second question you asked, this is actually a partnership program. When I mean partnership, it's open for every front-end developer. All right, that's why we call it a partnership program. It's not like an employment program. All right, so I don't know, you were maybe, like you said, you were not in the first, you were not there on time, or you just joined later. So we've actually had a series of discussion on that, and I think I was able to let them know what we do. Okay, so because of I don't want to digress a little, yours on the Slack channel, you can chat me up. I would respond to that. But for in the case of me to respond for other people that also joined me, I need that particular answer. So it's a partnership program, and the partnership has have you to come build and create teams. Now that team is actually yours and not Edtify's team. Even on the team store, it will be you will see built by, your name will be there. The ones that are built by with Edify or through Edify will have built with Edify or built by Edify. All right, but when it's your own team, your name would be there. If anybody asks you something, let me see it can also serve as a portfolio for you to somebody ask you what have you done. You can just refer them to that your the website you built, and they would see it existing in a particular platform. All right, so that's something. And then when you somebody sells or when somebody buys your team, you make your money from there. All right, so that's just it. It's not like we are giving you that massive employment, but there will be an MOU that will be signed between you and Edtify as a company. Now that MOU will be binding to ensure that you are being protected, whatever sales that comes on your website on your own team. So for the first 1 year, when you somebody installs or pay for your team, you are getting 100% of it. And then after that 1 year, you get 80% of everything that you sell. That somebody buys from your or buys your team, you get 80% of it. So that's it. So everybody's had the opportunity to create things for it to file. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. And how about the content? How do you get the content? I'm so sorry for the extra question.
Okay, I don't think you are creating content. The clients, they are the ones creating their content. You are only consuming the API. Now that API you are consuming will be the content that the owner of the website is adding up. I don't know if I answered that question correctly.
Yes, you have. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, so Fola, I'm sure you can go on with your question.
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Yeah, we can hear you. Good evening.
Yeah, you talked about multiple contents and you talk about color changes. So I would love to dwell on that. When you talked about color changes, are we going to design uh, the website in such a way that you can switch color? Like, we do color switching and like that. And then when you are talking about multiple teams, you said landing page. So when you're talking about the multiple things that users can actually choose more teams. So for from some experience I have on WordPress and a couple of other websites like that, whereby you can actually install, maybe you wanted to use a swiper or something related, or you just want to do some kind of nice stuff for your website. So on our part, are we a landing page or we are designing things that people can actually use all around to just make their website lively and enticing? I don't know, maybe you get that.
Let me answer that.
Mr. Please go ahead.
Let me answer that. So, in terms of the templates, the the complexity is dependent on what you want to put on the site. Take for instance, now we have specific number of pages that you are designing for. So you have a landing page, you have lists, leagues, course leagues, documents that is for PDF reader. We have video players, that is our course players with. We have library that lists all the books. We have publications and also exam pages and the rest. So you are designed for this for this particular pages. You are designing these particular pages. Then, if you want to add those pizzazz, probably carousel or animation or the rest, you probably want to. You don't. You are not constrained to a particular design per se. In terms of the WordPress analogy you're using, installing specific plugins to do specific things. Our system is not designed that way, so we are not that distant for now. So you are designing specifically for this particular education platform. You are not adding that other this thing. If you want to add those special effects or any other things that might make your site stand out or the rest, you have to add it as part of your template and not something that can be turned on or off. For now, we don't have that flexibility. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yeah, to a certain degree. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, message for that. So I take, if you have a question, you can go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. You said something about the platform being built on Next.js. Like some of us are solely React developers, are not very proficient in Next.js. So how do we go? Like, do we have to like go learn Next.js for this or what? That will be all for now.
Okay. Message or David, do you have an answer to that?
Okay, maybe I can take this if they are not available.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, you need to learn a JS to use to develop on the platform. Next.js is a requirement, and React. That's the question I take.
Okay, like you're saying, we have to be Next.js developers to develop on the platform.
So the boilerplate that will be given to you, all the APIs are already consumed. So if you are good with React, you should be able to develop on it without necessarily being very good at Next.js. But I would definitely advise you take some little tutorial on Next.js for you to understand the foundation of the platform. Okay.
Okay. So my next question, like, how do we get paid? Like, what platform do we get paid with?
So
And
your project. David, do you want to answer that, or I should take it?
Okay. Okay, Moses, go ahead.
Okay. So everybody will have an account on Edtify, a developer's account. And every time your team is installed, or that your template is installed, the payment goes to your wallet. And then you can decide to withdraw your money to any of your accounts. We currently support dollars and naira and Ghana cedis and Kenya shilling. So those are the currencies we support now.
okay, so who gets to decide the price of our teams?
You decide the price. But there is a cap, just as Vivek has mentioned. This is cap you cannot go past.
All right, understood.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Moses, for that. So Moses is actually CTO. He's the head of technical. So he's the one in charge of the backend and everything there. So that's why he has to answer that question. Thank you, Moses. Boast being. I think you can ask your question. I don't know if Shiru Fola hand is up for a question. Boast being, please go ahead.
I don't have questions for now.
Okay, you
My
don't have a
questions,
question.
they have been answered already.
Okay. So I think Aisha Tomola, you still have a question? Because your hand is up.
Yes, please. I do.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so a GitHub repository will be sent to us, right?
No, you have to create your own GitHub repo, and
No,
then
like Okay.
So you
You know,
create
it was mentioned that we like when I read the PDF sent, I
Okay, I
think we
think
would.
what sorry, let me
Okay.
just let you know. We are going to have a technical session tomorrow. So that's particular tomorrow's session will be chaired by technical director, and all the technical persons will be available. So everything you need to know about how to get started, the GitHub repo and every other thing, you will get to find out in the tomorrow's meeting. So what we wanted to do today is just to get you guys familiar to the vision we're trying to achieve with this collaboration, and then also show you some use cases that we feel you need to know in order for you to know what you want to create. All right, but every of this information about the GitHub and APIs and Postman and everything, you'll get to find out tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Musa Ahmed, you have a question? Okay, Mark David, you can go ahead.
Hello.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Can anyone hear me?
Okay, I want them
Okay,
provided the
Musa,
money no pass 5K.
Musa, please hold on. Hold on, Musa. Musa, please hold on. Mark David, go
Good
ahead,
evening.
please.
Good evening,
Don't worry,
everyone.
I'll sell your card.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. But I think that place you are is
Okay,
noisy.
okay. So,
Go ahead.
please,
All right, I can hear you.
let's say we are going to collaborate with designers. So there's this question I want to ask,
Yes,
like,
sir.
how will the designers know the exact content of what
Okay.
the clients need to use it in designing the
No,
the website or the landing
I've
page?
not really added.
Okay. So now, before a designer would actually do any design, there must be communication between yourself and that designer. Okay, so we already have team of
If you delete
designers
them
that are
online,
currently
anytime we want to
they
do
already know the
it,
system,
but
right? So if there's anything you need them to do, you converse amongst yourself, discuss what you want to do, and then they design.
Okay. So,
all right, boss.
according to what Mr. Moses said about the API, so is the API specifically built for it to be used by Nest.js developers, or we that are not specifically
And now,
Nest.js
boss, you
developers,
free
we that are
everything.
React
Make I go
developers?
find food.
Okay. APIs are client
The
independent.
progress. This
Right.
is the progress now.
So when you build an API, anybody can consume it. You are using Nest, you are using Vue, whatever at all, mobile app, anything. API does not care about the client that consumes it. So it's not tied to any client framework at all. Okay.
Okay, so that means a React developer can actually use the API in building these websites,
Okay, boss.
building these things.
Yeah, definitely. But just as
Boss.
Message has mentioned, all our templates, we need them to be server-side rendered so
All right,
that
sir. Thank you.
they will work well with SEO, and they will all be SEO compliant, because the customers you are building your template for, they have a product they are selling, and their product needs to be seen outside our website by the search engine, Google, Bing, and every other search engines. So if your template is not server-side rendered, then they will lose out from tapping into that advantage of being seen by other guys outside our platform. So that's why we've made these a crucial requirements that all your templates must be server-side rendered. Okay.
Okay. So about the content, so
Hello?
he said the content is provided by the client. So
Yeah,
like,
no.
how are we going to know or get the display content for the website, like not the API, but the display content of the website.
So when you say display content of the website, I assume that's the content of the client you are building your template for, right?
Yeah, like the write-ups, the image, and all of that.
Yeah, so all those things are coming from the API.
Okay. I know get money. So that's all from my end.
Okay, that's fine.
That's so what we are building with is there is like a dev center you are building with that has already content on it, but they are not like online content. They are more like mock content. So they are online, but they are mock content. It's not like a particular university or a particular institution,
Oh, okay.
but they are actual live mock data. So you are not working blindly. You are working with live data from those APIs. The APIs are already
Okay, because when I opened the Edtify website, I saw some teams that said coming soon. I don't know if those are the live data you are talking about from the API.
okay. So that's coming soon. You are saying is a template that has not been implemented or built yet. The design is already available. We have the design in-house created by our own designers. It's already available, but we have not built the templates yet. The template that is already available to be used that is currently being used by most of our clients now is the one that is currently active on that system on the template site you're seeing there. So when you install it, you will actually see empty content. You will not see any data under your template. You will see empty containers, placeholders, and the rest for most of your for your courses, your publication, depending on the plugin you activate. So when you now start populating your content, you will now start seeing your content on your templates on your sites. But you that are designing now, we have our own center that is given to you with the template carcass that I don't know how to put it, that we are giving to you. You are going to see data, courses, books, and links, and the rest, and users as well. So you are going to be interacting with like mock data, actual data. So you are not building blindly. You can log in, log out, like what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get.
You are
So
not working, or you will not be the one providing the data to you. We are not working blindly. So we are also going to provide.
yeah, I get. So we that doesn't have designers to help us out, are you guys going to provide us with designers?
I'll give that question to Mr. Velvet to answer.
So I think Vivek has answered that question in the past.
Yeah, maybe I didn't get that. Please.
Okay, so he said there are designers that you can collaborate with to design for you and you can implement, right? So those are separate sets of professionals that are just designers. So they need you guys to implement what they have, or if you have something, you can talk to them, and both of you can collaborate together to develop the team.
Okay, I get that now.
But you don't have to, right? So we have a whole lot of full stack guys that does the design and also implement the design by themselves. So you don't need a designer to do that. But definitely, if you are working with a designer on you guys might need to share the proceed from your template. So those are some other things you need to consider when you want to work with a designer.
Okay. So there's this last question I have. those team that are on Edtify that said coming soon, that has already been designed by your own designer, can't we develop them, like we the front-end developers, can't we develop them, like can't we build them?
Yeah, that's a nice one. Definitely, if we have designs that we need developers to implement, we are happy for you to come implement them. Vivid, I don't know if you want to
Okay. Yeah. So now, just like we have some teams that are built by you guys, developers, we also have in-house teams, and our in-house teams, most of them are actually free. All right, most of them are actually free. We make them to be very simple. But so if you want to build our own team, that means we have to make that team no longer free, because anything you're building must be paid for. So we want to give the client the flexibility to choose either free or paid team. So that's why what you guys are building, you're going to build something that, of course, the free teams based on based on peculiarity, based on the audience. So your team needs to represent something that will make them say, okay, I don't mind spending $10 for me to get this particular thing because of this and that feature. All right. So, but I think on this particular one, we can still look at something and see how you can build those things that we already have designed for, and of course, you monetize it too. All right. So, I will think about it and see the best way how to make that work for you. All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Musa, you wanted to say something the other time, so I stopped you. So I think,
Yes, thank you. Can anyone hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, can anyone hear me? Okay, so I was going to ask if this session um would be sent as a recording to our mail or something, or maybe link to the video, sorry, to the session we posted on the Slack group for those of us that joined late, because I joined 30 minutes into the session.
Yeah, so that's the reason why this meeting was recorded. All right, so we'll send the copy, like a link for anybody that wants to watch it can watch it. We'll send it both to your mail and to the Slack channel. So
All right, thank you.
okay. So the last question, it will be, you can ask your question.
Good day, guys. My question is quite simple. I'm hearing about Slack channels and some other groups and stuff like that. While I only got a mail to this meeting, I don't know if I can be added to the Slack channel too. That's it.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. All right. So
Okay.
just drop your mail for me. All right, drop it here. Um, or let me just give you my mail. Just send me a message send me a mail. All right, so that I can just add you up. I'm sure I'm surprised you don't have the Slack link. So that's my mail. All right, so just send me a mail and I'll add you up to the Slack. I will send you the link to join the Slack. Okay, this is your mail, right? Thank you. So I will just add you up. All right. So I think that's it. All right. Can a WhatsApp platform be created for we developers? So we are very careful about people's data. All right, especially sharing of phone numbers. That was why we actually made use of the Slack channel, something that is more official. But then, if you guys feel you want to have a WhatsApp community, you can go ahead. All right, somebody can create a WhatsApp group, and of course, invite me to join your group also. But that will not be managed by me. So anybody can do that voluntarily. To create a WhatsApp group, including Telegram channel and other channels, right? And then we can have that conversation. Maybe some of you that are not on Slack can actually access WhatsApp on time. It's fine. So we can set that up. All right. And then anybody that does that should also let me know. or so I can also key it into it. So you guys can create a WhatsApp group.
Okay. And one last one, sorry. About the CTO made mention of giving us a sample, or should I say, more like a
Yeah, a
guideline
boilerplate.
showing us. Sorry, you say?
A boilerplate.
Yeah, a boilerplate. Sorry, I don't know. Will it also be dropped in the Slack channel, or to it to be sent? The link to it will be sent to our mail.
Yeah, it's a GitHub repo that you can clone.
Yeah.
So we'll walk you guys through all those tomorrow in our meeting. Okay.
Okay. We'll be having a meeting like this too tomorrow.
Yeah, a demo to walk all the developers through how you develop with the boilerplate.
Okay. Sure. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much. So the last question I'm seeing on my message box, can we update our resume on LinkedIn with this? So please go ahead. Feel free to do that. All right. So I really appreciate our time. We've spent over an hour, 30 minutes for this particular session, and I appreciate every one of us being around for this meeting. Of course, I believe this is going to be a very mutually beneficial relationship between Edtify and yourself as developers, all right? So we're looking at even additional more things that would make you guys make more money, both on the platform and also collaboration with direct clients, just like Musa may ask that question. Yeah, we have some companies that actually ask for developers, right, to build specific team that is current just for them. Some of them want their teams to look like their own current website. Because if you can look at our system allows people to use their own domain or their own subdomain. That's their own customized subdomain, right? So some of them will want their own interface to just look like their own current websites, although feeding from Edify's database and API. So in such kind of situation, we are not responsible for that. So we look at our available developers that can do that for them, and then we join them and the clients for them to have that conversation, make their bidding and everything, and then build it for them. So that has nothing to do with us. But we are looking at more collaboration that will make you make more money while working with us. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think. All right. So I believe after tomorrow's meeting, right, we will definitely have the right idea or right knowledge on what to do and how to go about your system. We will also be with you guys along the way, all through until you guys are very good with what you're doing, and then you can just be doing what you're doing, right? So for now, like I said, we will have a survey every week to know your states, how far you've gone. When if you need us to come in, whichever way you want us to come in, all right, we will definitely come in as long as it's going to make the work very efficient for you and very seamless. So we are interested in that also. Is there an opportunity for to join Edify in a permanent role? Yes, of course, there's an opportunity, right? Of course, when it's time for us to say, okay, we want to get in permanent developers, right? Then of course we will let you guys to know. And anybody, those of you that are very much interested, you can come in, and that will not stop your team that you created before to be Edify's team. No, it will still be your team. So your team is your team, and you make your money for it. But when you're coming to Edify on a permanent role, team that you build for Edify is Edify's team. All right, but then there's an opportunity for that. All right, so we will let you guys know. All right, I think that is Mark. You have a question. So guys, before Mark, if he has a question, I think we're done. So for those of you that you feel like your questions have been answered, you can drop. So those of you that have questions to still tackle, you can still Just in the next 2-3 minutes we should be done. You can ask a question and let's respond to them. For those of you that you're satisfied with every conversation, you can exit the meeting. All right. Thank you.
Okay, okay, okay. Please, Mr. Velvet, can we
Yeah.
have your WhatsApp number for those of us who need more details and information about the whole store?
Okay. I'm dropping it right here on this call. So you can just chat me up, all right? It's also my WhatsApp details. All right. So
Thank you.
all right, you're welcome. All right, guys. I'm loving everyone. It's nice to meet every one of us. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Mr. Moses, Debbie, message. Um, yeah, Precious. Thank you guys for joining the meeting. All right, guys. Good night, everyone.
Right.